Arsenal fan. Right, Dino?
All right, Dino.
Hello, mate. You all right?
I'm all right, Dino.
All right, Dino.
How are you?
All right, matey.
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. I'm calling for a apology from Mr. Cundy over there.
Go on.
Right, so Cundy, have you got a good memory?
No.
Who's this?
No.
Who's this?
I
Go on.
didn't think so.
Go on.
You said something in about a couple of years ago about Ethan Nwaneri.
Oh, yeah, go on.
You said that Mikel Arteta was self-indulgent when he gave him his debut.
Yep.
You came on some spewing rant
Yep.
about how it's because all about Arteta.
Yep.
He did it just for him.
Yep.
So now,
Yep.
I'm wondering, when the kids played 3 Premier League games, he scored a couple belters in the Carabao Cup.
Yep.
I think an apology's due.
No.
Well done to the Gooner here doing this. Hit the like and the share button, please. Exposing the talkSPORT and exposing the Jason Cundy narrative here against Arsenal. Why is it important to do this? I know rivals enjoy the pile on each other's clubs, but remember, this logic can be used against your club in the future, so we should be pushing for the professional pundits to be professional. Hit the like and the share button. Big Man United piece coming up in this video as well, so stay with us, but let's keep listening to this from the boys.
I'll tell you why, because I was right.
He was right. Remember what he said. It wasn't for the player. It had nothing to do with his development, and it was everything to do with Arteta and him being self-indulgent and wanting to get an accolade.
Well, on what basis were you right? If he's playing for Scunthorpe or Peterborough now, I'd be like, yeah.
No.
Right.
So you've misunderstood what I said. You tell me what I said that's wrong.
All right, I'll give you word for word, mate. You said, I think it's a really poor decision because it's about Arteta.
Yep.
It's all about Arteta,
Yep.
the manager that played the youngest player ever.
Yep.
It's self-indulgent.
What's wrong? So you tell me now what's wrong with that quote.
Well, if the geezer had put the kid on and the kid had never played a game for us again, then I'd be like, do you know what? It's a token gesture. You're right, mate.
No. See, you've missed. See. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that you've misunderstood. This was over 2 years ago, right?
It was, yes.
Right. At the time, he was 15, right?
He was.
And you played Brentford away, right?
Bang on, mate.
Right. Do you remember who was on the bench that day?
Absolutely irrelevant. And this is the problem. And a lot of people do this when they're running their agendas, is they don't make a full statement. So he made that Arsenal fan word for word quoted him. He said it was a poor decision, nothing to do with the player, all about Mikel Arteta. And it wasn't. They were 3 or 4-1 up in that game when Ethan Nwaneri was brought onto the football pitch. The perfect time to give this young kid who'd been killing it in the academy the exposure to the first team. First of all, training with the team, traveling with them, experiencing a match day, what the pressure feels like, the away fans are like. But the most perfect time to bring him into a game for a debut. You're comfortably winning. You don't need to score any more goals. Go out there and just experience the real men's game at the elite level, and we'll see how you look and feel. Arsenal fans, Arsenal Football Club, the manager, everybody surrounding young Ethan spoke about how this isn't going to be him now starting loads and loads of games from this point. He's going to be in matchday squads. He's going to get little appearances here and there. He's going to be developed until he is ready. And even now, you could argue he still isn't getting the game time that Arsenal fans are demanding. But clearly he's a player who Arteta and who Arsenal Football Club have identified for a number of years as being a potential future star. He's now started scoring goals. He got his first Premier League goal at the weekend. He's been scoring some great goals in the Carabao Cup. I personally think he needs more game time and exposure now, 2 years later. But Jason Cundy's absolutely wrong. He's trying to backtrack here after being exposed. The way Cundy and all the other pundits were talking back then is that it was going to ruin Ethan. It wasn't about him. It's all about Arteta. Nothing to do with the player's development. And that is nonsense. It's happened many times before and many times again where a young player, do you know what, especially if at 15, 16 and you're doing really well in the academy or really well in the under-21s, let's give him a little bit of exposure and see what he's like. Now, we're never going to know any of this at this particular moment because it's not our business. Maybe Arsenal felt, you know what, he's maybe a little bit too immature at the moment to be in the men's team. Maybe things he said, things he did, none of it negative, just he is literally a kid. He's 15. Let's keep him in the academy for a little while longer. Now, though, 2 years later, more mature, more experienced, he's ready to be involved that little bit more. And the fact that it was used as a stick to beat Arsenal with. For me, exposes their agenda, exposes their hate. And now that they've been embarrassed because Ethan is a part of the first team squad and he's being developed into a first team player, they look even more stupid. And instead of saying, do you know what, we got this one wrong, the way that Kunde here is trying to double down on it is an absolute embarrassment. But it makes for great radio. It makes for great content because I enjoyed laughing at it because some of these agendas from some of these media outlets are a disgrace. And that brings us on to Manchester United because the rhetoric of the last 24 hours has been nothing short of mind-blowing in many, many ways. I've had so much stick. Yep, I got my prediction for the game wrong. I thought some of the players would overperform on their ability. I thought maybe we could score some early goals and put the game out of sight, and that didn't happen, and fair play to Ipswich. But we all get individual game predictions wrong. I'm as excited now as I was the day that we signed Amorim. And I've said all along, it's not even really to do with Amorim and the system. It's to do with the whole structure changing. However, what have I said all along? It's going to take 2 to 3 years to become consistent, where we can challenge. And there are going to be peaks and troughs as the players learn a new system and a new style. And the most important thing for us to do is to stick with it. But I've seen the media today say, I don't know if this system's actually going to work. The same outlets last week, it's going to be really good to see Man United with a system that's consistent over a period of time. One little setback, and it wasn't even a defeat. Well, maybe he's got to change his whole philosophy and his whole system. No! That's been our biggest problem on the field of play in the last 11 years. The lack of consistency. No wonder the team on the pitch has been inconsistent for 11 years when there's no consistency to training. No consistency to squad building. My word. The media really do love to run rings around these United fans. Let's take a listen to what Amorim has said here.
It's different things. They are thinking too much because things are so different. They used to pass the ball and go forward, even the central backs. Now they have to go back. These type of things, they start going forward and they have to think too much. Dalot used to do it, pass the ball to central backs, go inside, play as a midfielder. Now he has to stick in this position. So it's hard for the players in 3 days to try to cope with everything. But we have 2 ways. Or we forget about the new idea, and I think that's why I was brought here in the middle of the season, and we try to cope with the things that I used to do it, and next year in the same stage we'll be here with the same problems.
And this is so true, and this is why Man United fans have got to remain patient. Have got to. This isn't the same as every other managerial appointment. We have football decision makers, and this isn't in this clip. But Amorim said something this week that's so important, that whether the players go and speak to Dan Ashworth or Jason Wilcott or Barada or me, they're getting the same answers from everybody. We all know that we need to change the way we play. We need a set style for the football club that goes beyond Amorim. And he's absolutely right here. People have focused on the Bruno comments as an example, but he constructively criticizes Ahmad here. Ahmad had a good game yesterday. But as he's stating, there's times where he was passing the ball and then maybe coming in a little bit too narrow because he's used to that. It is going to take time for the Man United system to become instinctual. For Man United players to get it without thinking. That thinking creates a delay, which was why, by and large, Ipswich were faster on the pitch than we were yesterday. Physically, some of their players were quicker than us as well, which of course is a big part. But the thinking, that split second of, actually, where should I be? Am I moving too far forward? I didn't go far enough back. Do I pass it inwards or do I go out to the right here? I'm not too sure. It's because there's been 2, 3 training sessions. It's going to take time. Okay? Now, and this is the problem with Man United fans. The media will throw petrol on this little fire. Man United fans have got to learn that you can criticise without going mental. You can say, I love these 3 things. I dislike these 3 things. You can do all of that and still have patience without throwing baby out with the bathwater. But what Amorim just said there, if we don't stick to what we've started just this week for a prolonged period of time, in a year, whether it's whether he's the manager or whether it's somebody else, we'll still be in the inconsistent position. To fix 11 years of inconsistencies is going to take time. I get rival fans are going to jump on this. I get they're going to start the banter. I get the media is going to jump onto it. This is where Man United fans have got to learn to be strong, thick-skinned, because it is much harder to support through this change than it is to kick off about it. It's like a comfort blanket to kick off about it because all the rivals will say, oh, he's a real one. He's a real one because he sees what we see. It's much harder to go, no, I'm going to have a bit of faith here. Let's listen to a little bit more of what he says.
Or we start now, we risk a little bit, we suffer a little bit, and in the next year we will be better at this point, so we have to risk it a little bit. And they are thinking too much because we are changing too much with 2 trainings without space to improve in training.
Absolutely right. And I love the way he sort of clap back here at the media, shut everything down that they're saying, shut up all the negativity straight away. And he's right. I'm back in the gym training. I'm probably not eating as well as I should. I'm eating okay. I'm back in the gym training. I'm back doing weights. I'm swimming, doing some sparring. But of course, I want to look better. I want to feel better and look better in 12 months' time, 18 months' time. If I don't go through the early pain now, in a year's time, I'll probably be fatter. I'll probably be unhealthier if I don't persevere through, a crook in my neck. My right knee's hurting where I've had surgery before. I did a big leg day Friday and I'm in bits today. But I'm about to go to the gym again. You've got to persevere through this pain. And you know, if you've never achieved anything in your life, then maybe I understand why you don't get it. But everybody that's achieved has to go through the pain barrier. And that's where Man United are. So look, disappointed with the result yesterday. I'm not going to hide that. But I'm still massively excited about the future and what lies ahead under Ineos and with Ruben as the head coach. Good to see talkSPORT exposed for their nonsense about Arsenal. And by the way, United fans, start watching it. They're doing the same to us now as well. In case you think of, oh, Terry's always done this for Arsenal. No, I've done it because I just want to call this shit out. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.